Happy New Year 2023. Welcome to the program agenda. We are broadcasting live online through the services of the Manor at Camp John Hay. Maraming salamat, Sir Mon Cabrera, and the very helpful, courteous staff of John Hay at the Manor at John Hay. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us this morning as we give you the latest on the news. And let's get our day started because it's going to be quite heavy. It's the daily starter goes, get into the habit of asking yourself honestly, does this support the life I'm trying to create? If not, release it. It's a new year, 2023, and if you are setting goals, and if you are doing resolutions, or if you want a better life, then ask yourself with every decision, purchase, or things that you do, is this setting up the life I want? If not, get rid of those things. Okay, let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star for December 2, 2023. It's a Monday, and the headline goes, NAIA shutdown greets travelers for New Year. The Ninoy Aquino International Airport, as well as many airports all over the country, suffered disruption, shutdowns, and flight cancellations because of a technical problem encountered by the Civil Aeronautics Administration of the Philippines. So we will be discussing that later this morning with NAIA manager. But before that, let's now go back to the front page. At the top of the front page, we have DOH sets heightened surveillance on China. Alongside other countries in the world, the Philippines, through the Department of Health, has set heightened surveillance on China, Chinese passengers coming from mainland China and requiring testing, etc., because of a widespread statistics or account of COVID-19. Medyo pinaghahandaan lang po. There is no discrimination. Facts are facts. Meanwhile, the top of the front page of the Philippine Star features a photo of Pope Benedict XVI, who passed away last Saturday. Pope Francis paid homage to beloved Benedict, and his remains are now available for public viewing in Rome. Meanwhile, lower in the front page, we have Marcos mourns former pontiff's death. President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. has issued a statement issuing their sadness and their deep sadness and mourning for the passing of former Pope Benedict XVI. The center photo of the Philippine Star, still related to the NAIA shutdown, features Ramp Control Officer Manny Hortaleza checking the situation at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, just checking that the runways are still clear, etc. Meanwhile, a little sad news for commuters in Metro Manila. The Department of Transportation ended its program offering free rides for commuters on the EDSA carousel buses last December 31. So beginning today, ladies and gentlemen, those of you who will be taking the EDSA bus carousel, maghanda na po kayo, barya-barya lang po. Okay. And then the DOH recorded 137 injuries, firecracker-related injuries during the New Year's celebration. Meanwhile, the Pag-asa expects that the first typhoon for 2023 may enter Philippines this month. Sana naman po wag, pero kailangan natin ng tubig bago dumating ang tag-araw. And last but not the least, a photo celebrating the arrival of New Year at the Eastwood Mall with a photo of a couple doing their kissing scene while the star at the Eastwood falls down to the New Year. Okay. That's all we have on the front page of the Philippine Star. Please buy yourself a copy or look it up online. Let's now go to the main portion of our program where we are going to do 3 different interviews, beginning with the NAIA General Manager. Let's do the videos, please.
1 hour before, sasabihin nyo cancel ang flight. Hindi po pwede. Lang effort na tulong. Tignan nyo, no? 21 passenger ang kasama ko. Karamihan senior citizens. Saan ko ba tutulugin? Sa kalye?
Waste of time, basically. So we could stay at the hotel. We could stay one more day in Manila. We just checked out.
Cesar Chiong is the General Manager of Manila International Airport Authority, or MIAA. Chiong is a longtime aviation executive who was previously with Air Philippines, or better known as PAL Express.
Okay, General Manager Cesar Chiong, welcome to the program, sir.
Hi, Cito. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. And Happy New Year. Although apparently ikaw, kanta mo yata, kanta ni Mike Hanopol eh. Ikaw yung nasisisi, pero hindi naman kayong may kasalanan. Could you please explain to our viewers what happened and why the NAIA shouldn't be blamed? Kasi ang dami talagang mga lumabas na marites kahapon. It was just so ridiculous even on social media.
Hi, Cito. Thank you again for inviting me to your program. Now, first of all, I'd like to apologize to all our passengers who were affected yesterday. Now, it's true that the Philippines Air Traffic Management Center, they're the facility, Cito, that handles all the inbound and outbound flights, so including overflights, no, of the Philippine airspace. So, basically, it's not just NAIA that was affected. It's actually the whole Philippines that was affected yesterday. It's just that most of the flights originated, or we have majority of the flights here in NAIA going to the different domestic destinations as well as other international countries. Mm-hmm. So we were the most affected. In our discussion with CAAP yesterday, Cito, because we also had a constant coordination with CAAP, apparently there was a power outage. The UPS system that they had, they actually have two, no? The primary and the secondary UPS system. If one UPS system is down, the other is supposed to back it up, and it's supposed to be uninterrupted. But apparently there was a failure, no? So they tried to troubleshoot and isolate where the trouble is coming from, and so they were able to find out that it's really the power issue that was defective, no? So what that meant was radio, radar, communication, and even internet was down. So when they had that, they issued a notice to airmen that there will not be any flights coming into the Philippines. No? So yan po ang nangyari dito. So we had about
for the record, yeah. So GM Chiong, for the record, the problem emanated from the CAAP side. It was not something under the control of NAIA, number one. Number two, it was an uninterrupted power supply problem that is in the system of the air control, navigation, etc., whatever it's called. And it is not a Meralco, it is not an electricity problem. It was a system problem. Kumbaga sa computer, bumigay yung power bank ng system, and kahit anong gawin mo, unless you replace the system, you won't be able to do anything about it. Now, what is the situation right now? Because I have people who were really cursing all the way from Tokyo, Singapore, and people are worried that they're going to be stranded and sleeping in airports or bus terminals.
Yes, Cito. We really apologize again to the passengers that were affected or will be affected because it will take time. We anticipate that it will take time, about 72 hours, for all the airlines to normalize their operations. But we've been in constant coordination with all the airlines, Cito. In fact, we had multiple meetings with them. The vice chairman of the Airline Operators Council was with us the whole time. We have this chat group. So all the things that are happening from our side and all the updates from the airlines are done real time. No? So we all know what's happening. So that's the first collaboration that we had with the airlines. So we know what's happening and really have a good situational awareness of what's happening, not just in the terminal or in the airport system that we have, but also those that are inbound. No? Kasi it was unprecedented. No, this is the first time that it happened using the CNS ATM system of CAAP. So what?
And I understand it's a brand new system.
Actually, sir, no. The equipment was delivered around 2010, but they were only able to commission this in 2018. So, and then this was fully commissioned in 2018. And then now, of course, given the passage of time, some of the equipment is really bound to fail. And they've in fact anticipated that, Cito. They ordered some of the parts based on their forecast of some of the parts that are about to fail. It's just that some of the parts that they found out yesterday that was the root cause of the problem is still about to arrive in the next 30 days. No? So
okay. So how is the NAIA going to operate if the CAAP does not have the part sheet, etc.? Are you all going to go on manual systems again?
No.
Paano ba?
They were able to put up the system in place. They were able to restore it, Cito. It's just that we don't have a backup right now. That's the issue. So we're actually back to 100%. No? It's just that the backup system, one of the parts for the backup system is still forthcoming. And that's what they're trying to expedite now. So on your question again on the flights, of course, we're discussing with the airlines. We're asking them if they can upgrade some of the aircraft to a wide-body aircraft so that they can accommodate more passengers. But one of the issues, Cito, I'm sure some of the passengers will be complaining, is that most of the flights right now are full. Kasi pauwi na lahat ng mga pasahero natin eh.
Yes.
So, it will take some time, no? So siguro mga January 4, January 5, yung iba ma-accommodate. No? That's why we're coordinating with the airlines, not just with the local carriers, but also with the foreign carriers. No? If they can upgrade the type of aircraft that they will operate here in NAIA, kasi so that we can accommodate more passengers.
Okay. Now, what about compensation or losses? Because I can guesstimate that entire nightmare must have cost the country billions, not to mention other other operators abroad. What does this fall under? Is this going to fall under act of God, natural disaster? Does the CAAP have insurance for this? Because some people were talking about passengers' rights, etc. What is being discussed right now?
Thank you, Cito. We have what we call the Passenger Bill of Rights. No? So the passengers are entitled to some compensation, food, transportation. So, but in our discussion yesterday, this falls under force majeure. No, so I think the focus right now of most of our team really is on the flight recovery, no? And then maybe we'll discuss about compensation later on. But I believe most airlines know that this happens. No? In my 25 years in aviation before, things like this happen, not just in Manila, but in other airports as well, like weather. So we put in more fuel because you have to circle around before you can land. So that's really part of the whole airline business, no? And operations.
Okay. So it's an expected disruption. It's part of the operations. It will fall under force majeure. Of course, passengers who were inconvenienced will have some form of compensation. Now, I know you're a very busy person right now. You have your hands full, so I don't want to take up so much of your time. But I would like to give you an opportunity to give a statement to our viewers who are concerned with relatives abroad flying in, or our kababayans flying out or going to the provinces.
Thank you, Cito. On behalf of MIAA, of course, our sister agency, CAAP, and of course, the whole DOTR, no? Together with Secretary Bautista, we really would like to apologize to all the passengers that were affected yesterday. And we really tried our best in coordination with the airlines to normalize the operations. No? It will take some time. Our estimate, Cito, is about 72 hours before we can really go back to full regular operations. But we are requesting all the passengers to coordinate with the airlines directly. And hopefully they will also be able to accommodate all of them the soonest possible time. No? So again, we apologize for this inconvenience. And truly, this is something that we did not expect. But rest assured that the whole DOTR family is working, that this will not happen again, that we're taking steps, every possible step, so that this issue of closing basically the whole Philippine airspace will not happen again. Thank you,
Okay.
Cito.
GM Chong, there is just an inquiry here because no one has heard from the administrator of the CAAP. What steps are going to be taken to ensure that this does not happen again? Because right now we need 72 hours for recovery. What steps to avoid another problem?
Basically, Cito, when they shifted from the manual system to the CNS ATM system, one of the things that they have considered in our discussion yesterday was also to put in place a contingency like what they have done before. No? So basically, aside from the technological backup that they're working on right now, and by the way, they've also presented this issue to the president, no? That they needed a backup system. No? So this is part of the program of CAAP as well, to upgrade and of course come up with a remote site business continuity program, no? And plan. But if something like this happens again, you can just automatically turn on the the backup system, no, in another location. So that's something that they're working on right now.
Okay. Thank you very much, General Manager Cesar Chiong of the Manila International Airport Authority. And sincerely, I wish you a happier new year. Total 31 naman nangyari yun. So, fast is fast na yan. Thank you very much, GM.
Thank you, Cito. Thank you for accommodating us and giving us the opportunity to talk to your audience as well. Thank you, Cito.
Thank you very much. That's GM Cesar Chiong of the Manila International Airport Authority. And I would just like to reiterate, ladies and gentlemen, there is no truth. It is not true that the system was hacked. No hacking happened. It is not true that the power failure happened connected with Meralco. It is not true, and that the problem was the uninterrupted power supply built into the system essentially gave out. So ayun, naibalik na daw, although it will take 72 more hours for all systems to go back online. Okay, so let's now move forward. Let's now talk about, now we will interview another person now connected to the stress that all of you have undergone due to the preparation for New Year. I don't know if we will be going for we'll go for a break first. And when we return, we will talk about health and nutrition. Quick run through here on Agenda. Welcome back to the program Agenda. Let's welcome our second guest for the morning.
Harvie De Baron currently serves as the CEO of the Baron Group. De Baron got his diploma in sports nutrition from Oxford College and finished it with high distinction.
Okay, welcome back to the program, Harvie. You're a regular here, so fine. And I'm sure you were watching the first portion and how stressful it must have been for many travelers. I'm still on the road, so I guess it's timely we have you as one of our first guests for the year because people overate, underslept, travel a lot and spend a lot of money. So please give us your advice, your tips, how to okay, let's now go normalize.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, Kuya Cito, all of this started right when towards the end of the pandemic. No, a lot of people had the term called revenge travel, revenge eating out. No, so when people were really in that phase, they tended to eat a lot of different types of food, and because and for a while, during the pandemic, it was about trying to be healthy, trying to eat really well. But when that ended, everybody was eating out more. The malls are more full. People are all celebrating more together, traveling to get to spots and different areas. No, I guess the number one tip for 2023 would be, let's not focus on diets anymore. Meaning, let's not focus on trying to lose weight. Let's focus on trying to actually focus on being healthy. This may sound like an overused, term, no? Focus on your health rather than just losing weight. Why? If you focus on your health, your goals will last longer. Because if you're trying to lose 10 pounds, you lose 10 pounds, you're off the wagon. You'll probably most likely gain the 10 pounds back. Yeah. Okay. And with that being said, I wanted to ask you now to focus on the quality of calories, not just the quantity of calories. When we talk about quality of calories, we're talking about good quality foods, avoiding fast food, avoiding processed food, yung mga chichirya na unhealthy. Try to stay away from things like that. Let's focus more on quality of calories, like totoong ulam, totoong gulay, cooked the right way. And if you look at the way eating is, people tend to have these cravings later on in the day. And the reason they do so is because they tend to focus on eating later in the afternoon, later in the day. Focus more on eating earlier part of the day. So by the time dinner time rolls around, you're technically not so hungry anymore. You can actually sleep early and focus on that. The other thing that I would have to say is, try to go outside while the weather is nice and cool. Build a good habit of moving. When I say moving, not just me moving my hands, but really going out there to walk, really going out there to find time to, spend time with your friends, walking outside, getting some exercise in. And while you're there, magpa-araw ka na rin. Get some sunlight in already. Sunlight is a binder of nutrients. So whatever good nutrients you eat, the sun binds it into your body, and it's really fantastic way for your body to absorb nutrients. And of course, we are all experiencing good weather now, cold weather now. But as you know, this is the Philippines. The time the year rolls around, by the time February rolls around, March rolls around, don't forget to stay hydrated. Drink more water. I was gonna say more, don't alcohol, but we just finished that season. No, we just drink more water rather than drinking a lot of soft drinks or these powdered sugary drinks. No, so those are the things that will actually help you get really, really healthy, Kuya Cito. So,
okay, Harvie, let me ask you this, no? Kasi there are people who are now, blogging, trying to sound so authoritative and expert. And then, of course, the marketing aspect. There are people who keep saying, oh, you should buy a pedometer. There are people who tell me, Kuya Cito, you should have a Fitbit, etc. And you should have the most expensive walking shoes because it's good for you. What do you have to say about all of this equipment?
To be honest with you, if it helps you get motivated, get started, because you've spent a lot of money on it already, so you're less likely, I don't want to waste my money. If I'm going to spend on it to help me get motivated, you do it. If it's something that will help you get on the right track, right path, do it as well. Like, for instance, I know a lot of people like to walk together with other people because they don't like to walk alone. Then go for it. If you need the nicest iPad or the newest iPod, AirPods, then do it. The pedometer, if you walk, if you like to see numbers, you're a numbers person, like to see yourself being challenged every day, good. Personally, I just walk 45 minutes to 1 hour every day, every morning. As soon as the sun goes up, I put on my shoes and I just walk outside. That's already a very good way to get started, no? In terms of not spending too much money on the pedometer or anything like that. Yes.
Okay, what about you? Because you are a nutrition coach, you are a health buff, but one of the things that many people always talk about is seeing the doctor. I know a few people who refuse to see the doctor even if their diabetes is so bad, even if they're already feeling pain. What's your take on, first see your physician?
Actually, Kuya Cito, I would have to say this season of the year, because of the bad eating for about 4 to 6 weeks prior to, everybody is very scared to see the doctor this time of the year, because the doctor is going to tell them, here, take your maintenance medicine, here, take take this, take that. You have to watch what you eat, all of these things. They're basically going to tell you what you already know. But if you are prior to that eating season and you already had a comorbidity like a high blood pressure, or you're already hypertensive, or you are already diabetic, I do suggest for you to go back to your doctor just for you to get a baseline measure for the start of the year. I think it's a very good idea to get a cardio clearance or clearance from your doctor to say, hey, Harvie, it's good you eaten poorly. I think you're okay. Time to start exercising again, so you have a healthy 2023. The thrust should really be focused. Let's stop all of these fad diets. They're just fat, like I said, fads. No, they're different. They're just you word it differently. They take away carbs. They take away. They want you to go plant-based. They want you to go all these different things. No, do what works for you. And when I say what works for you, it doesn't mean that you avoid certain things, but just get them prepared in a healthy, clean way. Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's a new year, and many many people like us. I mean, we belong to a particular church, Every Nation, Victory Christian Fellowship. Many of our friends belong to Christ Commission Fellowship, and our churches, many Christian churches, are going to go on a week-long fast in the second week of January. Now, after 4 months of binge eating, revenge munching, you're going to go for a 1 week fasting. What is the best thing to do starting now? Because me, I have no problems. I've become a vegetarian with my wife, Karen. But for other people, how should they prepare? Because some people will go on forced diets kasi tumaba. Other people will go on that 1 week fasting. What are your suggestions?
Kuya Cito, that's good. You did you say 4 months or did you mean 4 weeks?
Well, yung iba 4 months na eh.
Oh, tama. Actually, to be honest with you, where I would probably go for when you're looking at what works for you, like you've gone vegetarian, and I love that you have, because it works for you. And it's something that lasts. So if something that you feel, like for instance, if you like to eat your meats, meaning chicken, pork, or beef, even fish, don't run away from that. Or if you like to eat your rice and things like that, you like that balance, you can do that. But it's just that when we talk about these things, stay away from the processed food. Huwag ka na kumain ng processed meats, mga delata, yung mga ganyan. Unfortunately, those things, the nitrates, the preservatives, they really cause a lot of harm to your arteries, and at the same time, they're the ones that really cause high blood pressure for you. So when you're doing that, timplan nyo na lang mag-isa, or cook it in a good way. Huwag masyadong maalat. Try to put it together in such a way that it's still delicious, but there's a semblance of healthy, or a semblance or healthy, but and the semblance of delicious. So putting that balance together, it's what really works. And it doesn't mean that you avoid carbohydrates like rice, because your body is technically built to eat all that, eat carbohydrates. It's the primary fuel that it wants to run on. So if you eat carbs, for sure, if you don't eat carbs, especially in the early part of the day, for sure later on in the afternoon or in the evening, you're craving a dessert. And this dessert is always going to be very sweet, either a cake, either an ice cream later. or something that you will really, really want to munch on, nagkakaroon ka na ng tinatawag nating sweet cravings na hindi naman natin talaga gusto.
So cravings are not, satisfying a craving is one thing. Binging because of a craving is the problem. Kumbaga, naghahanap ka ng ice cream, yung kalahating tasang ice cream o one scoop is okay. Just don't take half a gallon, katulad ng mga ibang kilala ko.
Yes, marami tayong kilalang ganyan, no? Half a gallon to almost 1 gallon.
Merienda lang sa kanila yun. Anyway, Harvie, what about coffee and other, this drinks? Because I see so many young people, puro latte, puro mocha something, ewan ko what they call it. I mean, hey, enjoy what you want, but I just kind of wonder, is there such a thing as too much coffee, too much of all of this stuff? Any risks involved?
Absolutely. I think drinking coffee is well and good. There are a lot of really amazing studies how coffee is. It's a great antioxidant. No, so I'm myself. I'm a coffee drinker, 1 to 2 cups a day. Drink it at about 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning and about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, just to make sure that there's no energy dip. No, but most people, when you say they drink coffee, they have the mochachinos, they have the chino or all these things. No, most of the time the things that is added into coffee is what causes coffee to have a bad name, Kuya Cito. Actually, coffee itself, no problem. Pero dahil, sugar is such a beat up word over the last 15 years na how bad sugar is, how bad sugar is, how bad sugar. But the problem is, sobra siyang addictive. Ang sarap niya. Ang sarap-sarap niya. Pagpasok pa lang sa mouth mo, parang, wow, I should have had this earlier in the day. And then the regret comes after you finish that cup. But at the end of the day, truly, you're correct. When you drink a 30 ounces worth of a drink, na ice drink na puro ice, puro asukal, you're going to get in trouble. You're probably talking of about 20 to 25 teaspoons of sugar. And of course, that's too much.
Okay, what's the best fruit for 2023 or best food for 2023 coming from Harvie de Veron?
Best fruit, did you say, or best food?
Both. Which is what is the best one you can think for 2023?
For me, best food talaga. Best food for me, eggs. I love my eggs. I eat it 2 to 3 times a day. Nakakabusog siya, nakakapal ng buhok. At saka nakakaano ng skin. It is also good cholesterol, especially if it's cooked the right way using our very own coconut oil. I think you can get away. You can do better with that. And then for me, eggs talaga goes with anything. Saka, the nice thing about eggs, it's also the highest in satiety. Satiety meaning to say the body's feeling of being full. Pag kumain ka ng itlog, sigurado ko sa'yo, busog ka na parate. The best fruit naman for me, locally, because I like to eat local. I like to eat seasonal fruit. You follow the seasons. If the season is mango season, kain ka mango, walang problema. Masama sa sugar yan, Harvie, dahil nga sa When it comes to fruit, eat your fruit. Wag mong i-juice. Kasi when it comes to fruit, you can eat only a certain amount. But when you say, juice ko yung mango juice, one glass will probably be about 8 to 10 mangoes already. Pero you'll be hard pressed to finish 1.5 mangoes.
As usual, too much of a good thing. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Harvie, thank you very much for your time this morning. Good way to start the year. And we do hope we wish for you a happy new year, a prosperous new year, and may you be a blessing to many. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, Kuya. Kuya, one thing, Happy New Year to you, and of course, love to you and the family, and Happy New Year to all your viewers. More power to you always for the coming year.
Okay. And that's Harvie de Baron. We'll now go for a quick break. And when we return, we are going to talk about wealth. And we are going to speak with a man who can show you the money, sabi nga nila. We'll be right back here on Agenda. Okay, let's bring in our third guest through this intro video.
Vince Rapisura is a known financial expert in the country. In 2004, Rapisura established the Social Enterprise Development Partnerships, or SEDP, a company that provides financial literacy trainings to overseas Filipino workers. SEDP is present in 15 countries worldwide.
Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and good morning to you, Vince. Welcome to the program Agenda.
Hi, good morning, Cito, and Happy New Year to you.
Well, thank you for joining us this morning with such limited time. We have a very busy first day of the year. What tips can you give us, or what advice can you give a lot of people? Because on one side, you have that desire of people to become wealthier in the new year. And then there's, on the other side, the desire to help others and to make a difference. How do you put that together? Because it seems you've successfully done that.
Yeah, no, but I think, Cito, we have to remember that you cannot give what you do not have, right? So the first thing that I would advise is to be financially stable first before offering financial help. So if you're not yet financially stable, what you can offer actually is your time, your energy, your emotional support that you give to people, because these are also resources. I think in the coming years ahead of us, we've learned from the pandemic that money is not everything. There's more to it than money. So we can actually give ourselves, we can volunteer, we can give our time to others if we are not yet financially stable. So to be financially stable for 2023, I think let's just put it into context first. I think because for 2023, I think the high inflation environment will still continue. Because of all the things that are out of our control, the gas prices, the war in Ukraine, no? And although the unemployment is already improving, it's not yet back at the pre-pandemic levels. So once it's back at the pre-pandemic levels, then we can expect our economy to grow better. And that would, our growth recovery will be better if we can control COVID-19. Wala nang surprises, no, of other variants that would come in.
Okay, now assuming all things start to normalize, where does one begin? Because a lot of people will tell me, sir, we barely have enough, or we just have enough from our salaries, etc. Or does the concept of forced saving come in? Or is it, kung wala kang pera, rumakit ka?
Actually, alam mo, no, I'd like to go beyond the concept of forced savings, because when you when you say forced savings, it's like you're not really willfully saving. So what I'd like to do is to make people realize that savings should be a joyful activity and it should be automatic, no? So and the way to do this is to really focus on a purpose why you are saving. And usually this is tied to your life goals. You want to build a house, you want to send your children to school, you want to save capital for a business that you're thinking of. So these things should motivate and inspire you to save and make it automatic, in a sense that, there's already a lot of applications in our mobile phones that would allow us to save automatically. So you can open digital bank accounts, and once your salary comes in, you can program it actually that in a portion of your salary would go to another bank account, and that would be for your emergency fund. So the first thing that Filipinos should build on is really on emergency fund. When we did our research last year, 90% of Filipinos, Cito, they don't have enough emergency funds, which is equivalent to about 3 to 6 months of their monthly income. So that should be the priority, to build the emergency fund first. And where should they put this? As I mentioned, digital banks is a good way to do it, but there's a caveat there, because your phone is always with you. It's very susceptible to withdrawal. So you have to be mindful of that, no? So, but for me,
nung panahon namin, mura ang lapis. Ngayon, daliri mo na lang ang kailangan mo at saka telepono.
Oo, no? Ayun. Pero for me, because of the social side, what I really want to promote is to open time deposits in rural banks and cooperatives, because they typically give higher interest rates. And when you deposit in these financial institutions, gagamitin nila yan, no? They will use it to spur the local economy. They will lend it to
But how safe is it? How stable is that system? Because a lot of people are now not, they have negative attitudes towards saving accounts.
Yeah.
Because sabi, pare, 1% lang ang interest dyan eh. Gastusin ko na lang. Something like that.
Right. No. So for rural banks, it's quite safe to invest or to save there, because it's covered by the Philippine Deposit Insurance Corporation up to 500,000 pesos. So I would always say, nako, pumunta kayo sa pinakamalayong rural bank, kasi yan nagbibigay ng mataas na interest. At hanggang 500,000 pesos lang, para safe pa rin yung ating savings doon, no? And also you can also put it at a time deposit that's 5 years plus 1 day, because if it's 5 years plus 1 day, the 20% withholding tax would already be waived, no? That's by government policy. So you save on the withholding tax, and they give higher interest rate, which is about, in my experience, is about 4 to 6% per annum. It's not much, but at least it's still better than putting your money in the stock market, which has been down in the last 5 years, I believe, no?
Yeah,
So,
Vince, but some people say that, if you put it in a time deposit, the inflation or cost of money or whatever, pasensya na, no? Wala akong alam dyan, wala akong perang ganyan. Pag nilagay mo sa time deposit, by the time you take it out after 5 years, your 500,000 would only be worth 350 or 400,000. Parang nagde-depreciate.
That's it. Yan ay kapag if you're going to put it in commercial time deposits, because the interest rates in commercial banks are really ridiculously low right now. That gives us a sense that the financial markets, that they're really liquid. But if you go to the rural banks and cooperatives, they really still give a decent interest rate, which is actually at par with the inflation rate. I believe there's going to be a hard time beating inflation rate for 2022 and 2023, but I think for the next few years it will normalize. And in my experience, usually the interest rate given by cooperatives and rural banks, they actually are higher than the inflation rate historically, in the past 10 years. And also, if you want to really go for higher interest rates, you go for cooperatives. But my tip is, you look for cooperatives that are already 10 years in existence, and they own their headquarters. That's a sign that they're not fly-by-night. So even if the branches are rented out, you have to make sure that the headquarters, they already own it. And take a look at their financial statements. In the financial statements, they declare their co-op pesos score. And the co-op pesos score should be at least 80 points out of 100.
Okay, what other tips do you have?
Yeah. So for a lot
How about for small businesses? Kasi I've just come back. I'm here in Baguio now at the manor in John Hay. They've been so hospitable enough to let me use their kiddie area for the show. But we were up in Sagada yesterday for the New Year's, and I saw so many hardworking people in Sagada putting up small businesses, and I kind of wonder, how do we elevate them? How do we, raise them to become even more successful?
Right. Actually, when we talk about micro or nano enterprises, one thing that they forget is to take care of their future. They just focus on their business. That's why I tell them, when you have a high income during periods that you earn higher income than normal, you also should save and invest more. And if you have less, then you can save a lesser amount. So you go with the flow of your income pattern. And do not forget to get government social security and savings programs like SSS and Pag-ibig. Kasi alam mo Cito, a lot of people take these two for granted. Pero actually, if you take a look at the SSS, the benefits that you get from SSS and the amount that you put in, yung returns nito would beat a lot of, actually I'd say 99% of all the investment products available given the amount that you put in. Kaya I let them prioritize this kaysa tumalon ka sa iba't iba pang mga investments that you are not really familiar with. So
that's good to hear kasi yung return on interest return on investment is greater than the investment sa SSS, GSIS, and Pag-ibig.
Yeah, So yung when I took a look at it, the lowest return on investment, as long as you enjoy at least 5 years of pension from SSS, that's 19% per annum when you retire. So ang laki nun, di ba, compared to the amount that you put in. For Pag-ibig MP2 naman, it's tax-free, high dividend, and it has consistently beat the stock market in the past 5 years. So if you've invested 1 million in the past 5 years in Pag-ibig MP2, that's about 1.5, 1.6 million right now, no? Pero if you invested that in the stock market, it would be around 875,000. Your 1 million has already shrunk.
I agree strongly, and I think even with PhilHealth, I am a beneficiary of PhilHealth 10 times over, and I really encourage employers, maski na yung mga household employers, to put their staff enroll under PhilHealth because you can't beat it.
Yeah. Especially when you go to the public hospitals, a lot of the services would be free. And in the private hospitals with PhilHealth, in my experience also, it's about 30% to 40% of the bill would be taken care of by PhilHealth.
Okay, so the government has a very positive input in our financial stability. At least it puts aside certain things for us. We shouldn't just always, complain about it. Now, any other things that we're missing? Because sometimes there are secrets that only people like you know about.
Nako, wala talagang sikreto. It's all out there. You have to build your capacity slowly. Your previous interviewee a while ago was mentioning about diet. Ang lagi kong sinasabi, nako, kapag tayo magsisimula sa pag-iipon at pag-save, let's also avoid doing crash diet. So crash savings is also bad, no? So you do this slowly. And what I advise usually if you're starting is save 5% of your monthly income in the first 6 months. And then every 6 months, you increase that by 5% to build your habit and to build your capacity in savings. Yung hindi mo na namamalayan na nagsisave ka. And one of the things that I really do there is to make savings automatic. And this is also a tip din to, no, sa mga nagpapautang. So, because some of my friends and my family members, they They borrow from me. And I tell them, okay, so that we won't have a hard time with getting repayments from you, you make it automatic. Every month when your pay comes in, a portion of it automatically gets remitted to my bank account. So if it's automatic, you're no longer stressed about thinking about it and you already know what you're working on, then you can be better prepared. So do that with savings also. Make it automatic para effortless na siya.
Meron pala noon, nakikipag-away pa ako sa commander ko. Pwede naman pala yung automatic savings.
Yeah, oo. So that's the easiest. Kasi ang katulad nung sa ano, di ba? That's the secret of the government. Remember, Cito, when you receive your salary, the government already automatically takes off the tax, right? So automatic na yon, hindi mo option yun eh. Kung magbabayad ka ng tax o hindi, you're forced to do it. So do that same system to your savings and investments and you'll enjoy life. Kasi what you will have in your savings account, you will say, okay, ito na yung natira for my needs, for my wants, because my savings and investments are already taken care of.
Yeah, what you don't know won't hurt you. And if you don't know that the money is being taken and saved for you by your wife automatically, then you're happy. You will have something to eat when you're 80.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah. For financial goals for 2023, a lot of people are tempted to have a lot of goals, 'di ba? Ngayon panahon ngayon yan ng New Year's resolution, ng dami-dami. But if you do this all at the same time, you will end up reviewing 2023 without nothing in terms of accomplishments. So my tip there is focus at one life goal or financial goal at a time. And if it will
give me an example. Give us an example.
Yeah. So for example, you want to build a house and you want to save up for a capital for business and you still don't have your emergency savings. So instead of allotting small amounts of money for each of these goals, you prioritize. So first you go with the emergency savings. Then once you're done with your emergency savings, the bucket is full for the emergency savings, then you move on to the next one. In that way, you have a sense of accomplishment. Because if you do these three things at the same time, at the end of 2023, you end up with, I have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and a little bit of another thing, and you don't feel accomplished. So in psychology, that's what's being done, no? To take small bites instead of big bites.
Okay, well, that is quite a lot for today, and we just want to thank you, Vince, for joining us this morning. And I'm sure we will be asking you back to the program for longer interviews and sharing, because it's important when the Filipinos learn about finances, tips on how to grow wealth, etc. Because it's not taught in school. Tinuturo lang sa atin mathematics and all that, pero not financial literacy. So thank you for what you are doing, and I pray that you are blessed in this new year.
Yeah. Thank you too, Cito. And I hope that you spend your vacation with your family happy there in Baguio.
Okay. Thank you very much, Vince, and have a good day.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Before we close, ladies and gentlemen, just allow me to share with you one of our financial secrets is that me and my wife always give 10% of any money that comes to us back to the Lord. We send it to our church, and we have been blessed with that through the years. Let's now go to our blessing for this week, and it comes from the book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5, verses 16 to 18. Rejoice evermore. Pray without ceasing. In everything give thanks. For this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. Okay? May you be blessed on this first working day of the new year, and the rest of the year I'm Cito Beltran, thanking you for joining us this morning on Agenda. Please keep it here on One News.